a room full of Harley Davidsons, doesn't it? Oh, that's the sound of aviation the way it was. You heard the aerobatic airplanes with their six-cylinder opposed engines, with cylinders on the left bank and on the right bank, 180 degrees opposed to each other. And these cylinders are arranged like the kernels of corn around a cob of corn, if you will. Big hole in the front for air to come in and cool those cylinders off. And then the opposed design, big holes in the front also, smaller holes, but the air still flows through and air cools those engines. Unlike the engines in your car, that are maybe opposed engines, side by side, in a four-cylinder inline engine or a V-shaped engine, three on each side of a V6 and four with a V8. Water-cooled, water flows through the engine around the cylinders to keep them cool. But give a round of applause as they taxi by. Michael Mancuso and the Klein Tools Extra 300L. Michael Goulian in the Castrol Cap 232EX. What a beautiful performance by hometown boy Michael Goulian. That was just a sample of the kind of performance that you're going to see these two aviators perform in their full aerobatic show later on. And now your attention is directed toward the runway as we step back in time to a day of slower aircraft, but aircraft that were very, very important to the defense of this nation, because these trainers were the T6 Texans and SNJs that trained the fighter pilots of World War II. Let's listen. Combat maneuverable aircraft by the standards later on in the P-40s and the P-51s and the P-47s. Big, heavy airplane. And when you see Reese Dill, who's flying on the wing, performing aerobatics, the man is going to be working hard. He can quit the health club, folks. Put your cameras on him right now as they come by in this beautiful two-ship pass. Hank Moretti in the lead. Reese Dill on the wing in the T6 Texans. Actually, we're going to call those what they really are. They're both in Navy colors, and the Navy called the airplane the SNJ. This happened to be SNJ-. Except on takeoff, burning about 60 gallons an hour. That's gallons per hour of fuel. That's a gallon a minute at takeoff power. Of course, we only keep that on there for a few minutes just to get the airplane into the air. More than 13,000 of these aircraft built. Put your cameras on as they come by in another two-ship photo pass. First time they came by, they were in an echelon or fingertip type formation. Reese Dill stacked back 45 degrees from Hank. Right now they are in sugar. Reese Dill from Weston, Massachusetts, a consulting industrial engineer. Been flying for over 30 years from Africa to Australia. During World War II, it was an Australian version of the T6 that actually shot down a Japanese Zero. Many of the aircraft have been converted to look like Japanese aircraft. You see them in the movie Tora Tora Tora, as modified as Japanese Zeros. Coming by in another pass. This time it looks like they're in line abreast formation. Very difficult formation pattern to fly. Let's watch as they come by. Nope, back to echelon formation. Stacking back from, no, they are in line abreast formation. Not only must the speeds be matched exactly, but the references change. When you fly formation, you pick 2 points on the lead aircraft. As long as you keep them lined up on that 45-degree line, it eases the very, very difficult task it maintains. And right here at this air show, and this open house and air show, we'll take you all the way for the barnstorming days up to the latest high technology aircraft available in the military today. And of course, you've already seen the high-tech composite performance of the best civilian aerobatic performers on the planet today. And you're going to see them all fly later on this afternoon. Okay, power coming back now. And look at Hank Moretti as he puts that left wing down into the wind that's blowing across the runway from his left to right. See those panels extended down the trailing edge of the wing? Those are called wing flaps. They change the shape of the wing, make it a little more curved, and it actually creates more lift at a lower speed. We'll tell you more about lift and all that aerodynamic stuff later on if we get some time. But if you look high and over your right shoulder, you will see his partner Reese Dill is about to come diving in to the demonstration zone. Smoke system is on. Up comes the nose, and the left aileron gets rolling in as he starts out, lining himself up with the show center line and pushing the nose over to gain lots of speed. Lots of speed in a T6 means he gets it up over 150 miles an hour. About 160 as he pulls it up over the top of an inside loop, or what we call a barnstormer's loop. Break it off as a 3/4 loop to make it 1/4 of a clover leaf. If he continued this 4 more times, it would make a big 4-leaf clover in the sky. Nice aileron roll or slow roll as he exits out of the 1/4 clover leaf. I give a wave to Hank Moretti as he taxis by in this beautifully restored 1944. It's only 2 years younger than I am. Nice job, Hank. A beautiful airplane. Navy colors, that's an SNJ 5. Listen to the sound as he puts full power on to accelerate up to about 160 miles an hour. Up comes the nose. On up over the top. There's that big barnstormer's loop coming all the way around the backside of the loop and right back down through his own smoke trail. This time as he pulls the nose on up at a 45, he rolls the airplane in what fighter pilots would call a victory roll back in those days. Come back from a mission, approach the field, pull it at a high rate of speed, and dive down toward the landing zone, and then quickly pull the nose on up, roll the aircraft in a victory roll. Okay, let's watch as he rolls in from the right. Keep in mind, these are the same maneuvers that were taught to aviation to prepare them for combat. This is a 4-point roll. He stops every 90 degrees of roll, while working very, very hard to keep the nose on a point on the horizon, and, I might add, to keep the engine running, because this airplane is not designed to fly upside down. Has to keep some positive G on the airplane as he completes 1/2 of a Cuban 8, a 5/8 loop with a diving 45-degree line, a roll back to upright flight, pulling the nose on up toward the sun, completing what starts out as an Air Force style barrel roll, a heading change of only about 20 to 40 degrees in the Air Force style. The Navy style barrel roll you'll see flown later on, and that's executing a 90-degree turn during the barrel roll, like flying right around the inside of a barrel. Climbing, turning, rolling, descending, right back to the original heading. Back from the right. Here's a good example of a Navy-style barrel roll. About a 90-degree change of heading, and now back to the original heading. The aircraft offsetting in its path to the right. Number one, they had full power on, but it had this rapping sound to it you may have heard during the takeoff. You hear a little bit of it right now. There's the noise. You hear it now. that sharp sound over the rumbling sound of the big 1,340 cubic inch engine. And that sound is not the engine, that's actually created by the propeller itself, and specifically by the propeller tips. As they approach supersonic speeds, they actually break the sound barrier, and those are very tiny little sound barrier glass that there it is, that you're hearing the propeller tips make as they go supersonic in these full power, highly loaded maneuvers, as he is using every bit of thrust that can come off of the blades of that propeller. Now he takes his line on the show center line, heads back toward show center, gets lots of energy, because he's going to need it as he pulls the nose up and up and up, airspeed dropping down as he barrel rolls the airplane back to the left. Towards you, you notice he has the landing gear extended. Now, the landing gear, I'm using the term extended because right now, is the landing gear up or is the landing gear down? It was down now, but not when the airplane was upside down. We call that a dirty roll that he's doing right now. And we don't mean that the airplane got dirty or with oil all over it or anything like that, which, by the way, it has because it has a radial engine. We mean aerodynamically dirty. Those gears sticking out like that cause a lot of drag. They disturb the smooth flow of air underneath the wing. I know, you're remembering the song, The Wind Beneath My Wings, and you're probably thinking that's what creates the lift to keep the airplane up there. Wrong. It's the wind over the top of the wing. Here he comes, keeping the landing gear out. He's going to be setting up for a landing pretty soon, and I think maybe he feels that he'll forget to put the landing gear out or down, which is now up, as the airplane is upside down. And of course he has a tail wheel on there. That's a conventionally geared airplane, as opposed to the newer, more modern tricycle gears with a nose wheel in the front. But that one stays extended. He's able to retract up into the bottom runway and in the opposite direction. Then you turn, make these two 90-degree turns. Right now he's on what we call the base leg of the traffic pattern, and in just a moment he'll turn to final approach. The idea is to land into the direction of the wind in this case coming right down this runway. Because just as we saw with the leapfrogs, that slows down your speed over the ground. So the slower you're going when you touch down, the less runway that you use. And we suspect that Reese Dill is going to use very, very little runway. Probably be able to turn off at the first taxiway. Because his speed right now is down to about 75 miles an hour. Probably about 65 miles an hour at this point. The airplane will slow down very, very rapidly. He'll use the brakes and slow it down. And as the tail comes down, he loses sight of the runway in front of him with the big old engine out in front of him. He's kind of looking out to the side, make sure he's tracking down the runway straight, and he is doing a beautiful job. Easily able to make the turnoff. Beautiful display of smooth, graceful aerobatics in the T6 Texan, the trainer of World War II pilots. Now he's got the canopy slid back. Give him a wave and a round of applause as he taxis by. That's Reese Dill from Weston, Massachusetts.